Morning, good evening, good night, good wherever you are. Welcome to another episode of Life's a Beautiful Thing, where we talk about these beautiful lives of beautiful people who do beautiful things. This episode and the whole season is brought to you by Culture Source and the creators of Culture Grant. We're also brought to you by MI Play Studios, brought to you from 3850 2nd Street, Suite 223, Wayne, Michigan. 48184 in my play studio. My hair is by Male Care. Shout out to my gorgeous locks. They call me Black Jesus in some parts of the world, and by they I mean myself. Shout out to House Lawn Care. If you want some affordable and very kept services for your lawn for the season, hit up my boy House at House Lawn Care, 313-632-0483. One last sponsor we have Enchant D Rose. Enchant D Rose is a black woman owned small business run by Amanda Hill. Amanda creates high quality natural hair and skincare products such as rose water, hair growth oil. Enchant D Rose brand also delves into healing services alongside wellness products. All type of things. There's Reiki, there's massages, there's counselors. Go on MotorCityMobileWellness.com. Just Google them, and they'll come up, and you'll be able to communicate with Amanda and her team. So today I have a very special guest. She's a poet, a mother, a home wrecker, um,
Let's not.
a business professional.
I am.
She's a human resource. So she's all type of things. I'm here with my friend. What do you want to call yourself?
I normally go by Shay or Explicitly Shay. So you're here with Explicitly Shay, the lovely, the greatest, Nico's mommy.
Shout out to Nico for making her a mommy. You don't even give him nothing for like Mother's Day to reward him for making you a mother, do you?
No. I gave birth to the male version of myself. So
Is that
we wake up fighting every day.
is that how old is Nico?
Nico is 6, but he looks like he's about 9. And he eats like he's about 9. So, that's my baby. I made that.
That's okay. That's cool. So you say he's a male version of yourself. What does that mean?
Well, as friends, you're aware that I usually say just anything, and I can't catch it. So Nico's the same way. Like he questioned the other day why his auntie had a booty and his granny had a booty, and why mommy's stomach was so big. So we just, we bond on things like that. We have questions for each other. We inquire about things.
What was your answer to that question?
Life be lifing, and I really liked Pizza Hut. So if he wanted a smaller belly, he should probably stop eating so much pizza.
Oh, at 6 years old, did
Yeah. No, he caught it because then he went and got some yogurt, and we ate yogurt together.
That's cool.
We bond. I meet him where he is sometimes. That's how you parent.
Okay. That's a good piece of advice for just parenting in general. Just meet them where they are.
They're kids. You got to understand. Even as an adult, sometimes I don't understand things. So with him, I have to break it down. You may not understand that you are getting on my damn nerves right now. But if I remind you of that time your cousin took your favorite Iron Man, you get it. So I meet him where he is.
Okay, cool. Shout out to the mother. Shout out to the parents.
Yeah.
Mother's Day is coming up, so happy early Mother's Day to you.
Thank you. We just celebrated a national holiday. Shay Day was Monday, March 25th. I know you guys weren't aware, but it was a thing, a huge thing. Started Thursday, and we went all the way to Monday. Just reminding everybody.
No, for the people who aren't as cultured at home, what is Shay Day?
It's my birthday, national holiday. That is the anniversary of the birth of a real nigga. Like, what do you mean?
Shout out to Shay Day. Happy Aries season. I called you a Pisces on accident the other day. I felt the animosity through the text messages.
Very violent, very violent. It took me hours to respond to that, and I went on to name all the March Pisces that we know that I can't stand. So, yeah.
And agree. And I have this conversation all the time, but I don't do the Zodiac thing anymore just because I'm so old and everybody has the potential to be anything. But unanimously down the line, they say March Pisces ain't really worth a damn. I didn't say it. They said it. Don't come at me, y'all. Don't come at me, y'all.
I can concur because the story I told you about 4:21 a.m. and the woman with the face tat climbing through the window, that was a March Pisces.
She was?
No, he was.
Interesting. Well,
So
we're definitely gonna go back
yeah,
to that.
yeah.
I ain't forget about that. So, what did you do for your birthday?
I had a weekend of events. My best friend, who is my heart and soul, planned an entire weekend. I went to the selfie studio and had a photo shoot. Went out to my favorite Mexican restaurant. Went to see the Rick James Super Freak stage play. It was beautiful. The man in front of me had a head like an American bulldog. Pissed me off the whole show. Lean to the left, please, my brother. Stop chewing so loud. I can see your head contracting. But outside of that, the show was good. Went to Starters because I'm low key a very quiet hood rat in my soul. So I like to go on Plymouth where the gunpowder's in the air. And then Sunday we had brunch. And Monday I went back to Starters by myself
Mm.
and had a blast. I also went to Nandi's Knowledge Cafe for the first time. Shout out to Mama Nandi.
Really?
I had
That was your first time in that?
that was my first time.
Hmm.
And I left at like 3:45 a.m. Had a time in
Oh
Nandi's.
wow. Well, I'm happy you enjoyed yourself over there. So tell us, tell the people listening your starter story. The one you just told me.
That's how we're introducing the world to me. That is
I mean, we
wild.
just had at least 10 minutes of introduction.
No. We had 10 minutes of like the intro, the promo, and plug-in. But that's okay. I'm for it. Support everybody he mentioned. All 39 of them. All 6 minutes and 57 seconds of plugs and sponsors. We're here for that. Specifically our woman. So most importantly, I have since 2020, I have been involved with the same man, a March Pisces, much older. And to preface it, I met him like 2 weeks after my daddy passed away. So I was in a weird space. I was also pushing like 400 pounds. So this man was really into me, and I'm with it at that time. And in this time frame, he's been on the tether. He's had like 2 of them things. By them things, I mean kids. And I hard quit him in November of 22. Listen, don't do that. Don't do that. I hard quit him, like cut him off. Boom. November 18th, I remember the date. Well, you know, I done had my weight loss surgery. I'm looking fine, running to him by accident. November 18th, 2023. I call him. I say, hey, I want to come over.
Hmm.
I get dressed. I mean, thigh-high boots, trench coat. I'm out here. I look dressed like the Jezebel hussy I am deep down in my soul. So I get over there. We do what we do. About 4 o'clock in the morning, I hear his window shaking. We in the hood, like Plymouth and Myers. I'm like, I know the wind ain't that damn strong. Then I hear somebody fall and say, damn. Somebody starts knocking at the door. He jumps up out of the bed so fast, I swear to God, the nigga left his shadow next to me. I ain't never seen him move that fast in my life. His shadow was still laying next to me. And all I hear is, you got a bitch in here? And a girl comes to the room, and all I see are these real long lashes and a face tat. So at this moment, I realize she gonna whoop my ass. Like, I have nothing on me. Like, I am bare-chested, fishnets, in the bed. I'm gonna lose.
Boots and trench coat. You can't win no fight with no boots.
You can't
and no
win.
trench
And
coat.
trench coat is in the living room. Trench coat, bra, boots. I got on fishnets in the skirt. That's it. A smile, locks. I'm wearing me.
Mm.
So she goes to jump on. No, the first thing she says was, oh, you got a chick in here? And in my mind, the only thing I could think to say is he do. Because at this point, fight him. If she fight him, I can get out. I say he do, and she took off. She was going to whoop my ass. And he grabbed her, and they tussling. And now I'm in the bathroom like Ebony from Players Club. I am in the bathroom in these fishnets, in this skirt, titty swinging, listening to them fight.
Who was winning?
Oh, she was tearing his ass up, so I knew she was gonna whoop me. I go to sleep, and he had one of those things where you go out the back door, and it leads, like his bathroom door leads to his back door. It's like those 3-way things, and I went that way, but he had a new dog, Cujo. So it's a pit bull sitting on the stairs. Can't get out that way. Titty swinging. I'm just gonna run to the car. Don't have no keys. Finally, he knocks on the bathroom like, baby, she gone. I hear somebody pull up and hit a car outside. Boom. She ran into his car in the driveway. He runs back out. I still never found my trench coat. I found my shirt, threw my bra over my shoulder like a championship belt, grabbed my purse, and was in the car. Got pulled over by DPD, broke down crying on the way home. Like, y'all don't even know what happened. And they felt so bad, they let me go with a warning.
So you just sitting there in front of the police with your titties out?
First of all, I had on the shirt. It was see-through. But because of the, the size of my titties, the nipples was flipped down here, so they really couldn't see nothing no way. Nipples was not all the way up. That happens. But yeah, that was the story. And then he texted me the next day like, hey, you want to go to dinner?
Did you accept it then?
No, no, no. I haven't been back over there. I can
That's
take
cool.
a lot of things
That's
in
fun.
life, but an ass whooping is like bottom tier.
I will say this though. That's what you just shot your shot in that moment, and that's what happened when you shoot your shot. You know what's gonna be over there.
No, no. Hear me out. Hear me out. No diamond. No diamond. I never expected that. Like in the history of us doing whatever it is, his life has never intertwined with mine. Mine is good. He might pop up on a Wednesday like, I got a new baby. That was one thing. But I've never encountered anybody else he was with. And after a year, I guess I had to assume he had been dating. But to see who he had been dating and the life he had been living, no, we don't do that here.
How did that make you feel? Like during that drive home, like
I mean, I always kind of knew it. It was one of those things where we were never really meant to be, but we found comfort in each other. He was used to that kind of chaos. So when we were together, it was more of an intimate thing. Like I would recite poetry. We would meditate together. We did a lot of things he couldn't do in his normal spaces. We did them together, whereas though he provided me the outlet. I wasn't just a mom over here, or I wasn't just a poet. I was somebody who could be intimate. I was sexy. I was this. I could explore. So we enjoyed that part. But the further, we drifted and the more time we spent apart, he kind of fell back into his old habits and it spilt over.
yeah, and that's your Mr. Toxic guy.
Yeah, he got some poems about him.
Shout out to Cuz. You amuse, my G. You got this girl here writing bangers.
And he hates them poems. He heard them first. That's how good we were. Like, I'm like, I wrote a new poem about Mr. Toxic. He like, damn, that's how you feel
So
about
it was
it?
like you wrote you ain't shit poem and then recited it to the nigga who wasn't shit.
Yeah.
That's like
That's how, but we were that close. Like, a lot of times I'm like, he'd be like, well, what you working on? You don't really want to know. Well, what you working on? I say, a poem about you. Well, let me hear it. That's really how you feel? And then you realize all the toxic poems talk about how he wasn't shit. And then at the end, we was having an orgasm. Because that's
that
how
was
it
the
transpired.
relationship.
That was, listen.
So you said that you met him when you were a little bit bigger.
A lot bigger.
A lot bit bigger.
Yeah, I was, so 2020, was a wild bag. I lost my stepdad in November 2019, and then I lost my dad to COVID in May of 2020. And during this time, my baby's still young. I'm not that close to my family. I'm out with my sisters drinking. I'm not a heavy drinker. I ran into him, and we were chopping it up, and he was like, you not with your people. This ain't you. That's the first conversation we ever had. He said, this ain't you, and I could tell. He was like, come for a ride with me. My sister's like, no. So they ended up taking me home, and he picked me up, and we went out to the Detroit River. We went and sat by the river for hours and just talked.
Oh, man, he got you. He knew what to do.
He knew what to do. That was the first person to, like, genuinely hug me. He would call me everything else. When I first mentioned wanting to lose weight, that was the person getting up and going walking with me every morning. If I'm stressed out about something, did you eat today? All of that. He was that during that time. So as chaotic as it seemed, that was my sense of normalcy.
Yeah. And was it because of your size at the time? Like you said, you didn't really get that type of attention?
And so the thing was, I've always gotten, no matter what size, the sexual attraction from people, I've always gotten that. But that level of intimacy, I wasn't experiencing at that time. I hadn't actually been with anyone. I got pregnant with Nico in 2017. I hadn't been with anyone since 2017 because I had been in that mode. So for him to meet me at what I consider my lowest and to be into me the way it was, and it didn't matter where we were. Like, him taking me out in public was never a problem. I met plenty of men that enjoyed talking to me, but it was a private thing.
Yeah.
Well, him, no, this my baby. This shade, da-da-da. It was different. So
it just so happened to be just toxic at the end.
Yeah. But he was upfront about everything. Like, hey, I got hella kids, pull out game, pitiful. He was upfront about that. Came up.
How many kids is hella kids?
For me, one is hella. But no, he had 4 when we met.
Sheesh.
Yeah, he had 4. And every time we fell out, he would pop up. So we fell out in a couple, like in 2021. And we ran into each other. And he was like, I got something to tell you. I'm like, what? He was like, well, I want to be with you. But, between us and all 6 of these kids, I'm like, 6? You got 4. I got 1. That's 5. I don't know much about algebra, but we got 5. He like, nah. I say, well, how we got 6 kids? He say, what today? What's today? I say, Wednesday. He say, he a week old. And I hung up and blocked him. And then we got back cool. And he would always say, relationship-wise, we can't do it because I'll break you. And I know I'll break you. He never lied about those things. I was a willing participant, so I can't bash him for something I walked into.
Well, thanks for getting out while you could.
Uh, Listen, that's all. Should have brought a light skinned bitch with a face tag years ago. I would have been gone. All you got to do is threaten me with a whooping, and I'm out. I don't.
Fair enough. So you not a fighter.
I'm not a scrapper. Now, can I? Yes, but do I know my limits? Of course.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And how's dating for you now?
I can tell y'all this, and let me look at people when I say this. You don't realize how much weight affects how people approach you in their interactions. And I had people tell me in the beginning, like, the more weight you lose, you're going to attract a different caliber of men because people go off of aesthetics. And I didn't believe it. I'm still a plus pound. At my heaviest, I was 379. When I had surgery, I was 334. I'm down to like 256 now.
Nice.
And
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my 1 year anniversary isn't until April. But I went on 5 dates in 1 week in January. Like, the men that approach me now want to take me out. They want to do things. Can I just, let me send you some money. Go do this and go do that. It hadn't been that way. Or now it doesn't need to be a secret. They don't mind going out with me or getting approached all weekend. That's something that's foreign. A lot of guys had big girl fetishes. I could tell you that. Weird bag. Some of these poets weird. But it's really opened me up to dating. Like, I haven't experienced this part in a long time. The sexual attraction has always been there. I've always had people willing to flip me over backwards and lick the folds. But people
Finger
willing,
your rose.
listen, all kind of folds, crevices. If you got a little pinch on the thigh, they in there too. Like, they wow.
Men are nasty. If we
Women
can,
too.
if we can fuck it, we will.
Anything.
So you having women too when you was women with big girl fetishes?
Yeah. Yes. It's a lot of people with big girl fetishes, like with BBW fetishes, and it be the ones you don't expect. Just lay on top of me. You're gonna die. Like, that is manslaughter in 4 states. I can't just smother you.
Well, thanks for not smothering anybody to death. I don't believe you never smothered anyone because I know what type of person you are. But that's neither here nor there.
That is here and there. So there's one time in band camp, like, got a story for that too? No, but yeah.
So how does that feel now in 2024? And like, it hasn't even been a year since this transition.
It can be overwhelming sometimes, and I only say that because I've always been this person. Like, the face hasn't changed, it's just slimmer. I've always had this spirit. I've always been this performer. Even the opportunities I get now as far as poetry, certain promoters didn't want to put me on the flyers before just because I wasn't viewed as attractive. And now you're making me the face. Now you're reaching out. The way you talk to me is different. You're acknowledging me when I walk in. So sometimes it can be overwhelming because you realize, damn, people really, this is all they see. Or now it's the attraction of, yeah, you fine, or the comparison of me last year. I've had men tell me I would have never entertained you. So that can be something.
People really just say things like that?
Yeah, no. One of the guy I went on 5 dates with in January. I posted a before and after on Instagram. And when he saw the picture, he was like, hey, I would have never fucked with you before. I like, you didn't train, like, he going hard, like snapping. Like,
did you continue to date him after that?
Absolutely not. Have you met me?
I have. Well, thanks for having some self-esteem.
Listen, I had to borrow it. But no, it's a process. It's a process. But I can say it can be overwhelming, but it is a beautiful experience. One, stepping into myself, finding my identity as a woman. Because I'm 32 now, so it's different for me than what it was at 25 before becoming a mother. So I realized I actually enjoy being courted. I enjoy getting dressed up and going out with someone. I enjoy having these different conversations with men and women. But
what does the courting phase look like for you?
it varies just because it depends upon the person. Like, I realize that people date a lot of times the way they think and the way they operate. Like, I meet people who are pleasers, so they want to do everything I want to do. But then I meet men who are really organized and structured. And that courting phase is, I'm not a texter, I'm a talker. So it's them reaching out and calling me and us having little conversations throughout the day, them actually showing interest in my interests. Like, one of the big things I do now is I always invite people to open mics. I invite you to one of my shows or an open mic. If you don't show up, then we don't communicate. Just because that's so important to me.
Yeah.
But the courting thing is a lot of conversations and a lot of quality time. You can't lead me with the material things because I don't care about that. Like, I don't care how much your outfit is. Your car needs to be fat people friendly. Please have 4 doors, a little bit of space. I don't want to climb in and out, be comfortable.
That's fair enough.
But the courting thing is different for everybody. It's really just learning each other and finding that common ground. Like, can I spend time with you? Do I like the way you interact with me? Do I like the way you talk about women? Do I like your view on life?
How often is the answer has been yes nowadays?
We still out here struggling. Out of most of the people I've met, I've had one yes, but it's just he's not in that season. He's not ready for what I'm looking for, and I can respect it. I really would like a partner, and he's more of I enjoy you and I want to cater to you, but I'm not ready for commitment. So out of all the people I've met, it's been one yes that I would go for. And dating with a child is different too, because I don't allow people in my house, and a lot of people are offended by that, but it's just me and this child here.
Yeah.
So I don't have male company at the house. I'm not available all day, every day. You can't call me at 6:03 on a Wednesday, like, come outside. Who got a babysitter? Bloodbath McGrath been with my grandma for 2 days. She ain't letting him come.
And was dating different before him?
Yes.
How was dating different before him, I should say?
Let me adjust these headphones to tell y'all something. TT Shay was living life. The month before I got pregnant, I was in Biloxi, pussy popping on a handstand on a beach, eating a seafood boil. Before him, I was outside. I would date you, him, her, any day of the week because I didn't have any other responsibilities. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm doing whatever it is. But now I have to think a little bit more because what you do affects me. And everything I do affects him. So I can't have someone with a bunch of chaos around him. Even after 4 years, Mr. Toxic didn't meet my baby until Father's Day of 2023. And it's only because I bought a gift and I went to leave it on his porch and his son came outside and Nick was in the car. That's the first time they had ever met. So even with that, him having as much access to me as he did, I knew who he was. So it's different now because it's so much more to consider. And then people are weird.
Yeah.
I'm looking you up on Otis. Do you know what Otis is? Like, I'm on Otis. I'm doing a Google search because you may have charges in Indiana.
Fair enough. And if they got charges in Indiana, stay away from them.
I just
Indiana
had
is
one
a
with charges in
lawless-
Indiana, yeah.
not Indiana charges.
No.
Indiana's
They were steep.
steep Indiana charges?
Yeah, steep Indiana. Nicholas was conceived in Indianapolis.
Ooh.
I'm an Indianimal. He
Not
an
the Indiana was.
His daddy's Jamaican though, so I didn't go too deep.
You was out here popping pussy with Jamaican Indianimals, huh?
Listen, I've always had an infatuation with Jamaicans. It started with Winston from how Stella got her groove back. And then, Rhinos, they used to be on 6 Mile at Evergreen. It was a little boy there that was flirting with me when I was 14, been in love since. Focus on what matters. But no, I have to do background checks now. It's just a lot harder.
How do those background checks come up with them red flags?
Yes, and sometimes people tell you they're red flags. I think if you provide a certain softness or provide a certain level of comfort, people expose themselves a lot faster. Oftentimes, my people are like, you're too soft, you're too nice to people. But the difference between a lot of what I experience and them, people reveal themselves a lot faster. They drop their guards because I'm coming in, hey, this is who I am, and eventually you show me that. So it may take you 6 months to show somebody else. Within a couple weeks, I know you're a psycho that likes to beat women on Thursdays. Like, you have showed me all this.
I imagine that saved a lot of time in hospital bills.
Like I said, I ain't taking no more whooping. So, yes, it saves a lot of time. Like the guy with the charges in Indiana, it was one of those things. And I invite you intentionally. I'm very intentional. I'm going to invite you to certain open mics and spaces like that where my people are. And I did a performance. I did 90s R&B and audibly say it's the sexy poem. And I guess he didn't like the interaction between the crowd and myself because once we got outside, he flipped out. He's angry. He's screaming. He yelling. You flirting with people. You're doing this. And I'm like, wait, we just met a couple of days ago. Why are you acting like that? Like I'm performing. That's a poem. I don't even bring my coochie with me no more. It's at home. Like I don't even carry it. But I ended up, after that, I walked away. And I was like, let me just look him up. nothing came up in Otis, but then I did a Google search, and lo and behold, Indiana, armed robbery, burglary, domestic violence, a narcotics charge. He said he moved back to Michigan in August. The narcotics charge was from July. Like, but this is going back to '07. So you've been doing coke, whooping bitches, and robbing people for a long time.
And-
How did I get here?
And in Indiana though, like
You were an indie animal for sure. I'm an indie animal. You were a real live indie animal.
so shout out to that
Shout out to-
separation.
Listen, shout out to all the separations. I know that I am divinely protected. I laugh and I joke all day, but I am able to walk away from so much, and I've experienced so much that most people would have crumbled from. But I'm divinely protected, and I can't thank the universe and every other Jesus, Joseph, Josiah, Mary, the Lamb. I can't thank everybody enough for that.
Cheers to that. Cheers to that. And just a little bit more on your dating. You just been telling us stories. I'm not gonna let you get away without these stories. So you had a little blind date not too long ago. You gotta tell the audience about your blind date.
For the record, Issa Rae and I are the same person. If you ever watched Insecure, this is my bio on dating apps. If you're familiar with Insecure, Issa Rae and I are the same person. I'm a serial mirror rapper, all this other stuff. But like, it's for real, for real. I could have wrote for them. So one of my I went on a blind date a couple of years ago before I got pregnant with Nick and got robbed. But focus on what matters. So one of my friends set me up like, hey, I know this really nice guy. I showed him your Instagram. He thinks you're beautiful. Meet him here. So we meet at the Detroit Shipping Company. It's an open mic night because she knows how I get down. I get my little whiskey. I'm sitting there. I'm sipping. And he walks up. Well, I have this thing. Hey, tell me in advance because my face says everything. She didn't tell me that he only had one leg. And I'm cool with amputees. Everybody need love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my titties longer than they used to be. I deserve love. All kind of stuff. I'm missing a tooth on the side because somebody was saying, I need love. But they didn't tell me in advance. So when he walked up, I'm expecting 2 legs. He had 2, but he was a chocolate drop, like yourself. This was a beautiful ebony man. But his leg, however, and you must say the comma aloud, was snow white. It was a white prosthetic, and he had on shorts in February in Michigan.
He didn't need pants, I guess.
You got one good leg. You gonna lose that one to the frostbite? Like, what are you doing? But listen, okay. It caught me off guard. Boom. 1, you got on shorts. 2, you got this white leg. So I can't help but look at the white leg. And I didn't want to ask him like what happened to the leg. So that was wild. But then he turned out to be an asshole with 1 white leg. And that just really bothered me. So then by the end of the day, I'm like, you really shouldn't act the way you act or what you got going on.
You got 1 leg.
You got one and the other one white. Now, how dare you come here and treat these people like this? And if they fuck around and kick you, you done for because you done came upstairs. Ain't no elevators. She run off with your prosthetic. What you gonna do? Because I'm not carrying you.
True. And what made this man an asshole?
I am very big. I was in the service industry. First of all, Auntie done had 17 jobs, okay? I had 7 W-2s in 2020. But I did a lot of customer service and service work, and there was a really nice young lady bussing the tables. And when she came to our table, she asked, was he done with something? And he looked up like, you don't see me fucking talking?
Damn.
Raggy? Like, what is that for? Why would you? But he was very nasty. And then the way he talked about the people walking past us, it was a bigger woman that walked past. And even though he had saw my Instagram, the first thing he said was, I can't stand when fat bitches just walk around with that extra stomach shit. First of all, I'm locked and loaded with a fupa up under this sweater. Like, I have a perfect forehead rest. So you're also talking about me, but the fact that you can ball your face up and just destroy somebody off of that, I'm straight.
So that was...
It was that. He had an opinion. He told me he was a parent, but he had one of those stories like, well, I don't see my kids like that, but I pay child support. So I'm already cringing.
That was so many red flags.
It was, and they were up front, and I'm super appreciative. He was so comfortable. But, I saw your page, and I know a woman like you need a strong man. You do this poetry. I know you at events by yourself, and you need a real nigga.
He hit you with all the...
Boom, 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 boom.
The toxic nigga script.
The script as an alpha male.
Oh, did he use the phrase alpha male?
Alpha male, and whenever
Oh God,
you know
no.
when you're genuinely dominant, you don't have to announce it because your presence says it all.
Bruh.
If you could look behind this camera, it's a man with a 401k laugh. He's very dominant. That's alpha energy. You don't have that. He didn't have to say, I'm a strong man. It was in the laugh. Like, we all know people.
Like I said, bro, I can literally pull your leg and you stuck right here.
And now I'm wondering what happened to your damn leg. Because
yeah.
God got a way of humbling people. Like, you must have did something.
You pissed somebody off. And
You
they
pissed somebody off.
took that leg.
Took that leg. I lost my side tooth because I was talking shit about people with side teeth. And then messed around, got cracked up. But, like, focus on what matters.
So how do you feel about your homie that put you on that? Did you call them and be like, yeah, bro, you owe me one?
Have you met me? You know I called her in front of him. I FaceTimed her and turned the camera around and was like, can you just repeat what you said? And he repeated what he said about the big girl. And I told her, if you ain't fuck with me, you could have just told me that. The fact that you had me waste a good babysitter on this shit here is disrespectful. My grandma ain't gonna babysit for another 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And we laughed. She was like, well, what did he do? What did you do, Mike? He like, I don't know. She's a beautiful woman. She ain't like them. But I'm very much so like them. You don't know that woman and you don't know me.
Mm-hmm. Did he at least pay for your food or your drink or something?
I had already got my drink before he came. But yeah, he did pay for the food. But I half eat anyway. Hell, he had ate everything. So I'm appreciative for that. But you had to buy the food before we sat down.
Mm-hmm. Could have been worse.
A rude nigga with a white prosthetic leg? What? He could have hit me. You right. He could have punched me. I guess that would have took it.
Don't. If you ever tell me you let a nigga with one leg punch you, I think we gonna have to wrestle. We better than that, and you better than that.
Like I say, I'm not taking no whoopings. I am going to listen. You will be at Cooley. You will be at Ellis, at Pie, at James H. Cole, or you doing 5 to 10? Because I'm going to court. I'm going to testify. Somebody got to live to tell the story, and it's going to be me. One of us going home, the other one going to county.
Fair enough.
County and or the morgue.
That's why we do stuff like this, so people's stories and voices can be heard. Rather yours to be heard above ground and not in offense.
No, not in offense. And I've had, like I say, the craziness with looking people up and doing that research. I had it because I had a psycho stalker in Indiana. Like, I had someone like that. So I'm very intentional about who I align myself with. And I ask specific questions when courting and dating. Like, a lot of times to catch them off guard. But, hey, I ask about your family. Or, well, how did you handle the passing of your mother? Like, how do certain holidays affect you? You say you're not close and you don't have any close friends. So what do you do with your free time? Who do you confide in?
Is that like a recurring theme where people just like, I don't got no friends. I hate my family.
Yeah.
Fuck Christmas.
Yeah. I don't really fuck with too many. Okay, I understand. I have a very close-knit circle. So who do you confide in? And then they usually go into a spiel. I got my homeboy, this and that. And then they start telling you stuff about the homeboy. And the homeboy usually be a despicable human being. Like, oh, birds of a feather. Okay.
You friends with goddamn P. Diddy, huh?
Take that. Like, you really, these your people.
That's wild. So so I met you. Like you said, you've had a lot of different jobs. Me and her, we met each other through work. I've told the story on my solo episode. I don't like this job. But I job it because, it's a job. I got to pay my bills. My old lady like nice things.
Our
old lady likes nice things. It's part of the process.
You just buy them. Like, I hype her up when she get them. That's a nice purse.
We're going to have to talk about your roles. You got to come around more to be a hype person.
I'm a hyper up. Start sending me pictures. I got a kid. Like, y'all gonna buy some Legos because, like, then that cut into her budget. Y'all don't really want that. You know how expensive Legos are?
They are very expensive.
Listen.
Well,
focus on what matters.
Focus on what matters, y'all. So this job, I ain't gonna say the job out loud.
That I got by accident.
I definitely got it by some type of
they tricked me.
myself.
They tricked me. First of all, I didn't know who I was interviewing for because I had applied for so many. Then they described it one way, and I get there, and I'm like, oh, shit. What do I do for a living? A year and a half later, I did not know what I did for a living, but I knew they sent us to a conference. And at that conference, I met a beige brother with colored eyes from Kalamazoo, And I was like, hey, we gonna hang out. You look
Shout
like you can
out,
drink.
shout out to Cuz. You
Shout
definitely
out to
can drink.
Cuz.
Uh, and we had a meeting, and I was just sitting there looking because I didn't, because I just had to be there. And we had a work training, and I ended up running to her at the training. She was like, "Nigga, you didn't look approachable at all." She said, "Nigga, I wanted to say hey, but I didn't know if you was gonna hate me or something like that."
And those are my exact words. Like, nigga, you did not look approachable at all. All these white people, you come in late, you got these nigga knots. Like, I am talking cash shit to him because at this point, I knew your name. And I'm like, okay, he's from my region. And then I just sat down next to light skin. Me and him done bonded. We done made plans for later on. And here you come. Next day, he's sitting with us. And let me tell you, I was twisted that entire conference.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a good time.
It was great.
At the casino, made him babysit me. Like, because when you meet me, we're friends. Hey, your lady know. When we
Very
meet, we
true.
friends.
And that's where I was going with this. And we've just been friends ever since, for the most part. You didn't inserted yourself into our relationship.
Facts.
She just doesn't mind it for whatever reason.
No, I remember the talking phase when he brought you up the first time. I was like, she fine. And that was it. Like, it was never, and I have homegirl syndrome. So I don't go into anything with like romantic feelings. Like, it's more so like, I want to be your friend. That's important to me. So a lot of times people's partners aren't bothered by me because I don't want him. Everybody's my brusher.
I do appreciate that. It's not a lot of genuine friends in the world in general. So like I said, just thanks for being a friend.
You're welcome. Thanks. You know what? And I say this. We met. I told him what I wanted to do. I instantly knew you were into publishing and you were an author. So when I told him, like, hey, I do poetry, we connected on that. One of the few people to give me a card, like, hey, this is how you can publish. When I had questions, it was on point. And we just built from there. Following that, we got into this really great relationship. I decided we were dating. They came to one of my features because I be poeting. And you were so in tune. Like, if there's a show or anything like that, he showed up. And it's just one of those things that happened by accident. But I say in the past 3 years, the people I have managed to align myself with have changed my life in so many ways. The support I receive is unmatched. The people I can call in a time of need. Even doing things like this, making sure my stories are heard, gassing me up to go and perform, any of that. The weight loss, seeing me transition to being able to walk around and not be tired. At the conference, I was exhausted. I could barely walk around the casino, and he slowed down and paced himself, and I look for that in people. Like, so it's beautiful to be here. And now we got this good relationship. We all black. Ain't no pink things involved.
Everybody hair locked up.
Everybody here locked up. And let me tell you, when he met me, I damn near had a boosie fade of locks. I started them myself.
Yeah, you did.
My locks was, listen, I was a micro penis locks, okay? They were itty bitty.
And it's like all of this, it just comes around full circle because at the work conference, it was what, 4 or 5 black dudes. And you was like, it's light skinned nigga, old nigga, bald nigga, and the nigga with the locks. We all know which one I was.
Yeah, nigga with the locks. The light skinned nigga, knew he was good. Old nigga, man. Bald nigga, he was from Traverse City. So bald nigga wasn't really one of us. Like, he was one of us, but he was more so like, I don't even know them colored. So like, so yeah, he definitely called us colored. So bald nigga was not an option.
Cool, well, okay, hilarious. All right, but I'm saying this, you are hilarious. Once we were there, like I said, you bought my book. You like bought it on Amazon. You got it on the ebook real quick.
Real quick, I'm a supporter. Let me tell you, I spent $30 on a nutrition book at the bar just because I was so excited that the girl was publishing her work. Like, what are you doing here? Live your dreams. And you're like 10 years younger than me. I wish somebody would have told me when I was at the Grambling State University in Grambling, Louisiana, the best HBCU in the world, that I didn't have to major in special education. Like, I could really pursue my passion.
Yeah.
Because had I started then where I am now, it would be Man, listen.
And there you told me, like you said, I'm into poetry and I'm writing a book.
That book has been done and edited 4 times since then. I've changed the theme. I actually have 3 books that are just sitting that I need to blow the dust off of. I have a whole series that I have created.
I know it's good too, but we'll focus on that later. And I just saw, and then you were talking like I have to lose weight, and you were just really like, you were very focused on yourself. and this journey.
Because
And
I was sick. I damn near died. And I tell people, like, when you say the health scare, I joke about it, but I had a medical condition. So you can, back then my face was darker. I had really bad hyperpigmentation, but I had been sick. So during that time, I had about 4 or 5 blood transfusions within a year. Fainted in one of the parking structures downtown when I was working at Rocket Mortgage, and nobody could tell me what was going on. The only thing they kept saying was like, "Hey, we can give her hysterectomy, take this medicine, everything else." At one point, I ended up blacking out, and I'm at home with my baby. He just happened to call my best friend, and it scared me.
yeah,
So it got down to, okay, you can have a hysterectomy or the weight loss surgery. I'm gonna go with the weight loss surgery. But then they gave me a medication, and I tell people, take care of your mental health and be aware of things. And the reason why I am so loving and so open now, when we met, I had actually, like a couple months prior, I spent 3 weeks at Stonecrest, the mental hospital in Detroit. And I'm somebody who had never had any kind of mental health breakdowns or anything like that. But because I was so sick, they kept giving me medications. As a part of the medications, I have PCOS. It's a hormone imbalance. It causes heavy menstrual cycles, things like that. So as someone who's in a relationship with a woman, you know what it's like on her cycle. Imagine her being on her cycle for, let's say, 16 months straight, no break.
she probably would have broke my motherfucking ass.
Exactly. So they give me this medication, and 1 pill a day causes hallucinations and suicidal thoughts. The doctor prescribed 6 a day for me. Nobody, the pharmacist, nobody told me any of the side effects. And my best friend, my man, caught it like something isn't right. I literally fell apart and had to go to Beaumont. Beaumont sent me to Stonecrest. They realized it was the medication, but they kept me until it was out of my system. So when I tell people I came that close, besides the falling out and the blood transfusions, at one point I got to the hospital. My hemoglobin was at a 3.9. They didn't even know how I was walking.
So you really back from the dead right
Like,
now.
I'm really back from the dead right now. Like, for somebody going for a blood transfusion and you keep them for days, and now I'm gaining all this weight. I done blew up from 290 to 379 during this time. So it's all of those things, barely being able to walk, my best friend having to shower me and care for Nicholas, to now being in this space and meeting the people I met. So that transition from when we met and everything I've experienced has perfectly cultivated this journey.
Yeah.
Like, I am so in love with myself and with my friends and with life that I can't waste time with people.
Yeah.
And I gotta lead with love.
It's very wholesome to see you here on this journey. And you did everything you said you was gonna do.
Say that. Say it one more time. Hold on.
You did every single thing you said you was gonna do. You jumped in the poetry game. I'm not gonna say jumped in it. You already had.
I
your
jumped
stuff?
in it.
Okay, then she
I
jumped,
jumped in it. I did a poetry special in 2020, Speak Up Poetry, episode 106, Explicitly Sha, Daddy's Girl. I did Speak Up Poetry in Atlanta in 2020, and I wrote that poem in 2016. And then I didn't do anything at all. And I popped out once in Detroit in like 2021. And then last year, I did 17 shows. Just coming up from nobody. 11 of those shows were paid. Like, they paid me to come out. A virtual nobody, and I don't slam. So to come out and be on all these flyers and now people knowing my name, and I'm talking to my favorite poet in DC. Like, my favorite poet is a fan of mine. Was mind-boggling. So even talking to you, like, sometimes that's still unreal to me. Like, damn, you've been out here doing this. You got people waiting on the next thing you gonna do. You doing erotic poetry now.
Yeah.
You be talking about fucking, like.
She do be talking about fucking, y'all. I heard it a few times. And
Even though this is a wholesome podcast, I am a
nothing
very
wholesome
wholesome
about this
woman.
podcast. This is a very.
I am a very wholesome woman. Y'all see the last time I tried to get somebody tried to come through the window. So I just keep to myself. I don't even carry no coochie on me in case that's what you're looking for. I don't even carry none. It's wash day. It's at the house. It's on the line right now. But no, it's been amazing. And thank you for reminding me of that. Like, I've been doing it.
No, you definitely have. And I support the grind. I might not be in the poetry community or in the spaces, but when I see you out, I'm gonna go support my people.
And that's it. And I tell people that I look for it in a partner now, because I realize that's the part of me I never led with. And that's the most important thing. That's who I am. I can be the corporate me. I can be mom, but I am an artist through and through. Like, when we're out, sometimes my best friend just records me because I have inspiration in that moment. And I like people to pour into me that way. But most of my people are not into poetry at all, but they're into me.
Yeah.
And I love that so much because they come to shows and they can recite it bar for bar. They're open to doing that because they support me as I do them. Don't give a damn about sports. But I'll take you to the Tigers game and I'm going to sit there and I'm going to enjoy it because that's what you like.
Mm-hmm.
And I love being loved in that way and understanding others. And that's such a big component when it comes to circling back, dating and life and loving this space that I'm in. I need you to love me in a way that I need to be loved.
Mm-hmm.
I'm open to everything else and new experiences, but this is what I need long term. Because I can't do forever with you. And for the rest of my life, I have to compromise on everything that makes me smile.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that makes me feel this kind of joy. Nah, we're not going to do that. We are living to the fullest and doing everything we say we're going to do.
Heard that. Keep doing it.
We quitting that job in 6 months, so I don't know
You
what
say
you gonna
6
do.
months? No,
6 months.
I get that bonus. I want to go so bad.
I know, I'm out.
I get that bonus in September, so they might have me. They might have me until goddamn
You see my face?
December. No, I see
You
it.
see my face? I done switched teams and everything. I'm out.
Trust me, I'm trying. That's why we here doing this, because I don't want to be there no more. I'm here for a reason, y'all.
Listen, I will be reciting poetry in my underwear somewhere before I lock you into that for another year.
Do what you got to do, my nigga. I'll have her watch you and subscribe. I don't know how she feel about me doing that.
You can't see it. You can't see that.
I don't
It's gonna
wanna
be just
see
like
it.
this. Can they see? They can't see
Oh,
nothing
you
from
gonna
the
be
waist down.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you gonna be
Come
working from home doing
on.
poetry, huh?
I work from home with no pants now most days. You know,
Nah.
you just got to be dressed from the waist up. Y'all don't know nothing
You
about
don't gotta
it
do
like
that, nigga. My camera be off.
No, my camera be on. Face card don't be declined. I be needing y'all to see my face in these meetings. Like, that's stupid.
I got my robe and my bonnet on. Y'all niggas know what I look like.
Surprisingly, I don't wear bonnets for real. I don't know what my problem
Really?
is.
Do you wear anything? A do-rag at least, my nigga?
No.
Oh,
I have silk pillowcases and stuff like that.
that works. We're gonna have to pull you to the side and talk to you about that though.
It's the bonnets for me. I've never liked them. Even when I was the hair weave killer, like when I had the badass sew-ins, my shit would be twisted like a crow's nest. Because I don't want nothing on my head.
Fair enough. Everything ain't for everybody.
You know?
But it looks okay. If you would have, it don't look like you don't sleep. With
Because I was about to be offended, appalled, in the fucking Aquarius. What are you saying to me right now?
Nah, your sister locks is crispy, my nigga. That's what I'm saying.
Micro locks.
Micro locks.
Sister locks follow a specific grid. These are nigga knots. I started them myself. The parts are all over the place, but they are beautiful.
Well, yep, they look nice.
Thank you, my brother.
And where does your inspiration from your poetry come from, besides fucking and your toxic?
Whoa. My best poem is 90s R&B. Oh, that shit kind of toxic too. Shut up. Everything. I love festivals. I love nature. Like I tell everybody, I consider home Batesville, Mississippi. So a lot of those poems where I'm smiling and happy, I'm thinking of home. I'm thinking of being in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by cotton fields, watching my cousins drive tractors. Like, I pull it from everyday experiences.
Why is that place from Mississippi? You said Batesville. Why do you consider that home?
A lot of the joy that I feel came from there. Growing up in a city, my relationship with the family here wasn't always the best. But down there, I could be myself. Like, if I wanted to just recite poems, I could do that, and they were cool with it. The guys there, I've always been a bigger girl. So coming up here in the time we did, I'm big and dark-skinned. My hair short. I don't have on name brands. They weren't checking for me. I went down there the summer I was 12, and I was the most beautiful thing walking to them because how they looked at it was different. That's really what built up my self-esteem and confidence. Like, no, you got to carry yourself this way. So for me, it was always home. It always felt good. It felt safe.
Yeah. Is that what made you go to school in Louisiana?
Yes, I only applied to HBCUs because I understood just how important learning our history was. And that was going to be my last time to really be surrounded by us. And even with that, it's a culture shock because the Baltimore girls are not like Detroit. The Caribbean girls are nothing like these Americans. Like, it's a culture shock. So I applied and I was accepted to Grambling, Jackson State, Kentucky, Ole Miss. I did apply to Ole Miss, even though I went to HBCU, Valley, all of them. And I got down to Grambling and didn't come home for 6 years. I loved it.
And how was that?
Grambling was the best thing that ever happened to me. I met some of the most amazing people in my life at Grambling State University. That's where I really stood on my own when it came to poetry. Like the poem Daddy's Girl, was written at Grambling within 15 minutes for, I hosted an open mic series called Lyrical Quest. And I wrote it for Lyrical Quest, and it went down. So Grambling was everything. The friends learning I was a freak, Grambling. Dating, Grambling. Exploring sexuality, Grambling.
I have to ask this question: what was the thing where you was like, yeah, I'm a freak? What was the experience where you came out and said, yeah, this is me?
Is this a safe space? No. I went to a party, and at a certain time, this group of people would say, hey, if you're not with the shit, you need to dip. And the first time they said it, I'm not thinking about it. I'm like, well, we gonna drink. And my girl like, hey,
You stay, huh?
it's about to get loose. I'm like, what you mean it's about to get loose? That blue light came on. Everybody's titties came out. It was mouths here and people humping. I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. I didn't even participate, but I was watching. I was like, this is great. And after that, we hosted events. And I've always had my person. Like, I will start the freaky shit off. Like, I want all y'all to do each other, but I'm going to go do him at every party. Same person.
So you was goddamn in Louisiana running orgies and shit.
Listen, we had one called the Waffle House. R.I.P. my boy Roy. We called it the Waffle House. It started on Twitter. My best friend who came out as gay, that all the bitches was fighting over. I'm like, he like meat. But he posted, I just want to eat a waffle right now. And somebody was like, you can eat my waffle. And later on that night, we had a party. When you walked in, it was Magnums, whipped cream, all kind of syrup, all that on the table. And we did the same thing. If you ain't with it, you took a shot of Diesel or Everclear to even get in. If you ain't with it, you got to go. And we had a time that night. Woke up the next morning. It was syrup everywhere. Panties stuck to the floor. Like,
I'm not surprised. Your mixtape gonna be lit. Whenever you drop your mixtape for the streets, that mug gonna be hot.
but people forget, like, you can be multifaceted. I can do all of those things and enjoy sex and still be somebody's mom and still be this dope ass poet and still be spiritual because it's all a part of life. I enjoy those experiences.
Yeah. How many Mardi Gras have you went to?
I've only been to 2 Mardi Gras. I don't enjoy Mardi Gras. It's too crowded for me.
It's definitely crowded.
It's crowded. It's way too many people. We do Bayou Classic, so that's the big game between the Grambling State University and Southern University. But we go down there and we whoop their ass at Bayou Classic every Thanksgiving weekend for the most part. So I enjoyed that. And my dad owned a bar like 50 minutes outside of New Orleans. So I was down on bourbon regularly. I just didn't like Mardi Gras.
That's cool. We just went to Mardi Gras. I've never been to Louisiana or Mardi Gras, and it was so many people. The shit felt like the rapture to me. That's what I tell people. Like,
yeah, no, it's way too many, and it's so much going on. And I say this, and people might think I'm weird. It's New Orleans is a stumping ground for spirituality and everything else. Some of the things you're going to experience there, you'll never do again.
Yeah.
Our first Mardi Gras scared me so bad because one of my cousins had just passed away. And we're walking up the street, and this woman approached me and told me I carried a lot of people with me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, and she was like, Keetrick said, you need to be all right. And she said his name. Keetrick ain't an everyday name.
It's not.
So the fact that she knew, and I never posted about this is nothing you would know. But every time we've gone to New Orleans, we've had something.
It was something.
It was something.
We had I don't want to say we didn't have like a direct experience. It was just weird. On Mardi Gras day, 6 in the goddamn fucking morning, fucking parade outside. It's a parade outside on the corner, and they chanting for Papa Leg. And I'm just like, bro, what the fuck? It's 6 in the fucking morning.
It don't stop.
It don't stop. Amanda gets up and just like, it's a parade outside. I'm damn near naked running outside trying to see what's going on. She's like, boy, go in there and put some clothes on. I'm like, man, if these motherfuckers can be on the corner,
cover your stuff up. You're a good wholesome man. We don't play that.
And this is my mentality at the time. If these motherfuckers can come on the corner where I'm living at in this moment and have a fucking parade circle, the least I can do is be naked and look.
You talk to our woman like that? You said that? Or was you thinking it?
I'm sure I said it out loud.
What Ike say? Sometimes you have to smack Tina so she'll fix her face. Cause
this I don't know if this, I won't call this a wholesome podcast, but you can't say nothing like that.
Ike said it. It was just a quote. It wasn't an alleged. He said it's an interview. You can Google that.
All right.
Because why would you talk to our partner like that? But no, I understand, and it's a lot. Like the spirituality down there is heavy. Hoodoo, voodoo, understanding the practices, and living there. Like Northern Louisiana, Southern Louisiana are different. I tell people that all the time. Going to Grambling was one thing, but going down there to visit my daddy, being in Laplace, New Orleans, Grand Mercy, Kenner, I saw things and I heard conversations and the way that they operate. It's a whole different world. So if you're able to go and explore, do that, but always be aware of what you're stepping, what you're stepping into, because that shit follows you.
Yeah. As an adult, did you come back stronger spiritually from that down there?
Or you come back really corrupt because shit latch on to you. You will get down there and have some experiences. Like, I woke up at the wrong Hilton down there. Luckily, we was with good people, but I woke up at the wrong Hilton one year. Bayou Classic was lit. But no, you have to be really aware, and it's easy to get got because locals know locals.
Yeah.
You can't pretend to be no New Orleans local.
Not at all.
They're looking for that. Mardi Gras, you getting hit. Wallet getting towed down, okay?
I say this, we got lucky down there in regards to some extra shit. I even got a $300 on accident. I paid a lady. She was selling wares. It was $15. I gave her a 20, and she gave me back a 5 and 100. And Amanda she was kind of like, we got to keep moving. It's like, there's so many people, you have to keep moving. And I was like, what is this? And she grabbed me and said, we got to keep moving. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just look at it later. Got back to the spot. Oh, this is exactly what I thought it was. Shout out to New Orleans for that.
Shout out to New Orleans. I love New Orleans.
What was your major? You said, was it special education?
Yes, I majored in early childhood and elementary special education. I had a minor in African American studies. And I didn't want to do none of that. I really wanted to go into communications. I wanted to be a radio personality growing up. I wanted to be a radio personality and, of course, a poet. But I was always, like, pushed into that. Like, no, you have to be a teacher. You have to do this. And
it's not too late.
No, it's not. I don't really want to do the radio thing anymore. But I do. I do thoroughly enjoy creating. Like, I love music. I have an ear for it. So I have been working on my mixing and everything like that. Like, I can identify the sample in a song in a heartbeat. If I hear it, I'm like, oh, so all y'all like this song because it's really a sample from Etta James and y'all don't even know that. But no, now I'm kind of really invested in myself. Like, I'm really locking in to, one, sharpen my performance skills and give myself a chance with these podcasts and all the cameras, the setup, the content creation. There are so many markets for us now that I can do from home, or I can come into a wonderful studio like this and do my damn thing, and people enjoy it. So that's really where it is now. Corporate isn't for me.
Yeah. So you're going to get paid off your personality moving forward. That's the plan.
Get paid off my personality and my talent because it's too far in me for me not to do anything with it. And I think that's why I went through a lot of the experiences I did. A lot of times my life fall apart when I'm not performing, when I'm not writing, when I'm outside trying to do all this other stuff because that's not who I am. But meeting you and other people, like, I kind of stay on track. And that may be why things are going so good for me right now because I'm walking in my truth. I don't believe that I was put here just to work in somebody's office. And that's why none of that stuff works out for me. Every time one of those jobs fall through for me, I get an opportunity to go somewhere and perform. Somebody called like, hey, can I fly you out? I barely have anything on my social media. I heard this poem. I want to fly you out here, perform for me. Realizing I can go on stage and sell tickets or whatever it is and make $150 in 10 minutes. That seems small to somebody else, but for a virtual unknown person, that $150 is the gas I need to get him back and forth to school. I can do this. And I'm doing this 3-4 times a week. Imagine if I open myself up throughout the day. Imagine this with streaming and the content creation. Accidentally went viral on TikTok, got 1 million views. Like, I'm getting access to all these things. Why play with it?
Did that going viral on TikTok, how many doors did that open up?
You would be surprised. So I had a lot of, but I'm big on, I know a lot of people do things for money. I realize how far that can take you down into the hole. I had a lot of people approach me about ambassador opportunities for, like, weight loss stuff, but I had surgery. So like I'm not going to pretend that I've been drinking your tea and losing this weight. Like I can't do that because I remember how I was in those spaces. But it did open up some opportunities. Like most of my pages now are for creators. And if I do the things that TikTok asks, I can get paid for the incentives, but I don't want to do skits. I don't want to make fake videos. That's not authentic to me. Breaking into my best friend's house and waiting for her to wake up while working and complaining about everything so she can make me coffee, that is authentic to me because you should have felt the love of your life walking to this house 4 hours ago. Why are you sleeping this long?
So you was in that lady house for 4 hours before she realized you was
Focus what matters. Okay, focus on what matters. I had been in her house. I had my own breakfast. I had put her clothes in the dryer because why did you leave them in the washer and why your blinds not open? Can you make my coffee? Because I didn't know I liked oat milk until I met her. I had been at work. I was working remotely, had a meeting, been all on Teams, everything. She done came downstairs with no pants on. I'm in a Teams meeting. Like, can you put on clothes?
there? How dare she
How
soil your
dare
meeting?
you? How dare you storm in on me in your house? And then took the rest of the day off and made her go to Target with me. Beautiful. Like,
That's cute. And is this your man?
my man. Let me tell y'all, I met my man, my best friend. I call her that little white girl from Dearborn Heights. You would never think that we were friends, but she wore me down. Well, Eric was saying, I'm wearing you down. When I moved back to Detroit, I was 4 months pregnant. Everything in Indiana had went sour. I came home. I was working at KinderCare. And she was a nanny at the time. So I had one of the kids she was nannying in my class, and she was so nice to me. Then she got a job at KinderCare, and she was trying to be my friend, and I was mean and pregnant. Leave me alone. She started leaving things like books for me to read, or I had an obsession with ice. So somebody would just leave a cup of ice in my classroom. So she literally wore me down.
Aw.
When I had my baby shower, they came, and she made me this thing called a butt box. And I'm like, what the hell is a butt box? But it had everything, teething rings, diapers, anything that I would need, baby powder. I didn't have to buy nothing for my son until he was almost 16 months old. That's how much they gave me. And mind you, I'm struggling. So somebody is paying his tuition for me at the school and buying formula and asking questions. And we ended up getting super close when it was time for me to transition out of that. His father isn't around. I don't have great family support. Her family started babysitting for me. I'm working at Amazon overnight. They're getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to keep this baby for me so that I can work. And I had never experienced anything like that. Like when I say she's everything that I prayed for and I wouldn't have made it through these last couple seasons without her, I would have really, Nicholas wouldn't have had a mama because she was the one who caught me getting sick before anybody else. That was the person at the hospital with me when they giving me a hard time. Like, who come to steal blood? Like, I'm not coming here for a blood transfusion for fun. But that was my advocate. When the medication had me flipping out, that was the person that caught it. That's the one who called like, hey, she's been taking this pill. Do you think that's what it is? She caught it.
Her name was Kim, right?
That's Kim.
Kim, shout out to you, Kim.
Even this past birthday, we went to Jamaica last year. I could barely walk. I was at my peak obesity and I had been sick. My back was hurting and like I was really deteriorating. She still went to Jamaica with me. I could barely walk. Kim had to buckle my sandals for me when we was there, and we had a time. First of all, if you ever feeling like you got low self-esteem, go to Jamaica. Go to Jamaica because they love me. I was physically fit at my peak obesity. They love to play, okay? We had everything. Focus on what matters.
I heard Jamaicans don't eat coochie, though. I heard it.
Some of them don't. The more traditional, however, as, it's just what a lot of them say because I want you to eat off the gristle. We got a baby together. Let me tell you. A lot of them don't. I don't even like the awesome Jawsome all the time, but that one.
That Jawsome was awesome.
Terrible person. Head game crazy. Shout out to whoever passed that down. You had to come from a long line of hoes to eat cat like that. Focus on what matters. But yeah, she was buckling my sandals in Jamaica. She had to do a lot to just help me. Like I need to help getting dressed, but Kim has always been that for me. Whereas though I came in and didn't even realize how I poured into her as her big sister, her confidence and going out and dating and speaking up for herself. We really complement each other, but it took me moving back to Michigan, losing my best friend of a decade, and her going through that things for us to really find each other. And I couldn't imagine life without her. So when I say my man, it's not a lot of people I would honestly lay down my life for. But I've never experienced love like what she gives me. That's my reminder every time that there's people out here for you.
Yeah.
So I'll be damned if I settle for a partner that can't love me the way she can. No questions asked. Like there's never a question. She thinks about it before I do. Because she knows me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very solid reasoning to have in general. Say,
Yeah.
if my homies treat me like this, I ain't gonna let nobody else treat me
And
no
that's it.
different.
And I think about that when I found myself at Mr. Toxic House because she was anti Mr. Toxic. Like I turned my location off so she wouldn't know,
Mm.
and we see how that went. But you just don't find people like that, and it's a reminder, man. I am blessed. I hear things about people's friendships, and I be like, damn, I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
But like to have somebody like that, we know that shit is unheard of.
Yeah.
To love you and your kid, my grandma, she bring my grandma cigarettes, and
Oh no, yeah, she locked in. You bring
she
grandma cigarettes.
my grandma make her own thing of collard greens. Like, let me tell you, when I say Kim is going to the family reunion in Mississippi. We are bringing
Mm.
a white woman from Detroit to Mississippi.
Oh,
Crazy.
that's literally your man.
That is my man, my man, my man.
That's great to hear. So Chanel, what is there? Where do you see yourself? What's like peak you look like when once you really lock in with the poetry and
Man,
all the creative stuff? What does that look like for you?
it looks like love. I'm gonna be honest. It looks like peace. When people imagine happiness and joy, I want them to imagine Chanel. But for me, it really looks like traveling. I want to travel and share this gift, and that's why I'm creating so many new poems and working on my performances because I want to be able to go into Detroit public schools and work with our youth. I want the kids in middle school to understand it's okay to have these feelings, and I want them to be able to resonate with me. Like, I love Rudy Francisco. I love the poet Matt Capone. Shout out to Matt Capone. He's honestly the reason why I'm outside the way I am because he told me his favorite poem was Daddy's Girl. Um, but I really just want to travel and be one of those people who speak and you feel enlightened. Like, say what you want, but when Jill Scott does those podcasts and those interviews, you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you understand this is who she is, this is the being of it. And I want that for myself. I just want to do what I love for the rest of my life. And I want to be surrounded by people who understand that if I don't do anything else, having the opportunity to recite these poems and make other people understand that they're not alone and feel what this is, even if you haven't experienced it. I want you to know what the inseams of these jeans feel like and us to relate on that. If I'm able to do that, that's success for me. If I'm able to show my son you don't have to do what they tell you to do, like you follow your heart, I'm good. And that's all I want. I don't care about money or anything like that. Let me provide for him
Mm-hmm.
and be this happy because I lived a long time miserable.
That's beautiful. That's very beautiful. Well, shout out to you, Chanel. I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you.
This
Just
man called me Chanel twice. My name is Shay. My name is Shay.
potato fucking potato. Is there how can I say this? How can people find you? Like what do give me some closing remarks. What do the people need to know? What do you want them to know?
The people need to know great things. First of all, you can always find me on social media, specifically Instagram at Explicitly Sha. That's EXPLICITLYSHA. Even my name is poetic, baby.
It's a little sultry. You ain't gotta be
And
so
it's a
sultry,
little
my nigga.
because it's Explicitly Sha. I need you to know when I'm in that bag, I'm in that bag, and we locked in. Hyper focused on me. You see me seeing y'all? Okay. That's also on TikTok. Don't add me on Facebook because I don't know you like that. So don't worry about that. But no, really Instagram. I am really locked in. Shout out to Network Artistry. Amazing promoter. I do lyrics and libations almost every Wednesday. It's located at the Vanguard Building in Detroit, East Grand Boulevard. You can follow Network Artistry on Instagram. But really lock in. I do a lot of posting. It's a lot of content coming. And yeah, maybe I'll be back here. I don't know, but catch
Cool.
me outside. If there's an open mic, I'm there.
Definitely. Yeah, like I said, my last remarks before I get up out of here. Chanel had a feature a couple weeks ago. And it was a great show. The show was just great. She performed well. The poems were great. She got frisky with my old lady.
I
Uh,
did.
She also
Definitely
got.
grabbed her.
I didn't mind that at all, but then you kind of offended me when you got in the white folks' faces.
You know, first of all right, let me tell you
forgetting
something.
where you came from.
No, never that. Because pink meat scares me. Don't even worry about that, y'all. You see me with something pink, we just friends. I don't want nothing unseasoned sliding in and out of this. Because I don't even carry no cat on me. First, focus on what matters. My favorite movie is Roots. I watch that and my best friend don't hear from me for a week. Like, focus on that. But it was Colors, a LGBTQ plus friendly event. And I wanted to interact with everybody. And I found If I find somebody in the audience who may not typically connect with me, I'm doing a poem about 90s R&B. So you're somebody I ask you what you listen to, you say heavy metal. By the end of this poem, you are smiling and we go together real bad. That is my goal. So that good white man and his woman needed to know the power of the Nehu. So y'all should really thank me because I'm teaching cultural lessons.
Thank you for closing it, closing the gap.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I went home halfway single because of you.
As you should. As you should.
That's
I can't afford her, so we just like each other in spirit. I ain't got the budget for it. I gotta buy Legos. Chicken nuggets $9 a bag.
Oh God, that is
my bad.
hilarious.
Go ahead, say your closing remarks.
That's all we got to say. Send Nico some Legos, y'all,
Please.
and chicken nuggets. Everything is expensive out here.
Everything.
Y'all tune into this podcast and help support me.
And if they have two legs, you kind of big girl friendly. You understand, EXPLICITLYSHA. I respond.
We need wholesome men who aren't misogynistic or fucking stupid, for lack of the better words. My old lady don't like me to say out loud. And that's it. Chicken nuggets, Legos. Tuning into this.
Don't be titty level. Like I'm 5'7", so at least meet me there because if you come right at my titties, then I can never wear wedges, and I got a lot of lesbian combat boots, and I like to wear them.
Combat boots. Oh, okay. This make a lot more sense now, huh?
Okay, I'm sorry. Wrap it up. My bad.
All right, no. Just the last thing I got to say is y'all tune into the podcast because my old lady like nice things, and I like getting her nice things. So.
And I like her.
And Chanel likes her. So because. Support our relationships and keep everybody household with nice things, y'all. Have a good night.